The history of the peanut butter and jelly sandwich can actually be traced back to the very first traces of human civilization in an ancient city called Sumer, which was located in which is Middle Eastern countries. And biologists and geologists have found ancient writings from about 3000 BC in this city. They have found writings of their people worshiping the peanut, which has now become one of the main ingredients of the peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And no one actually knows who invented the very first peanut butter and jelly sandwich, but during World War II, the peanut butter and jelly were both part of the soldiers' rations. And so people today believe that instead of having to eat the jelly and the peanut butter separately, some people today believe that they just put the jelly into the peanut butter to make it easier to eat. And bread has been around for forever, and they had it in their rations, so they probably sometime around there put that on the bread and had your very first peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Now the PB&J has shown to be the most classic lunchtime snack, and with 10 easy steps you can have one of these delicious sandwiches for yourself. Now the first step would be to gather up all of your utensils, and what you're going to need is a loaf of bread, a dinner plate, your choice of jelly, a butter knife and a spoon, and then your choice of peanut butter. And the next step would be to open up all of the things that you're going to need. That way you will be able to use them. And now when it comes to your types of bread and your types of jelly and your types of peanut butter, you do have many options. So the two probably main types of bread that you can use would be white and wheat. Now the advantages of white is that it is thought of as the traditional type of bread to use when making this type of sandwich, but it has been processed and lacks a lot of vitamins and is not very nutritious. And wheat bread has not been processed, and it does have a lot of vitamins that the white bread does not. Plus, wheat bread is a little bit firmer than white, and it tends to not rip as easily when you're using the crunchy type of peanut butter. Now, speaking of crunchy peanut butter, that would be one of your options for the type of peanut butter that you can use. The other option would be creamy. Now, crunchy, as I said, is very thick and has the actual peanuts in it, and so when applying it to the bread, it does tend to rip a little bit if you apply too much pressure or if you're not used to applying that kind of peanut butter. But when you finally get the sandwich made and everything, it does have its own texture, and it adds a nice little crunch to the sandwich. Now with creamy peanut butter, it does not have that tendency to tear the bread as much, and so your choices of bread are a lot wider as in terms of the firmness of the bread. Now with your jelly, the grape type of jelly is also thought of as the traditional type of jelly to use. And for all of you dieters out there, this type of jelly, Concord grape, has about 50 calories per serving. Now, if you're looking for something a little bit less, Smucker's strawberry jelly has about 40 calories per serving. So the next step would be to open up everything and start applying your peanut butter and your jelly. Now, with 96% of Americans usually put the peanut butter on before the jelly. So I'm going to be with that 96%, and you start off with the creamy, because I do have a tendency to tear the bread when I use crunchy. So you just get a little bit of peanut butter onto your knife and apply a little bit of pressure and not too much, and spread it evenly around all parts of the bread. That way you get the flavor everywhere. Alright, and now with your jelly, you take your spoon and dip it in, and the amount of jelly that you want really depends on how much you prefer. If you don't really like that much jelly on your bread, you don't need to get need to get very much. And this also applies for the peanut butter too. If the amount of peanut butter you use on your sandwich really depends on how much you want. And when applying the jelly, you need to spread it evenly around all parts of the bread. That way it doesn't get centered in one place and put all of its weight right there, and tend to sink down and put more weight up on that piece of bread. So now that you have your two pieces of bread, one with peanut butter and one with jelly, the next step is to place them together with the peanut butter and the jelly side to the inside, and apply a little bit of force. That way the peanut butter and jelly stick together. And now, when eating the sandwich, you need to, I recommend that you eat it with the jelly side on top. That way, if you have it on the bottom, the weight, as I said, can become centered in one place, and the weight of the jelly can become a little bit too much for the bread and it might break. So if you put it on top, it's just laying on that peanut butter. So now that you have your peanut butter and jelly sandwich, you need to put up all of your everything that you use, your peanut butter and your jelly, plus your bread. And after you're done with that, this is a sticky kind of sandwich, so pouring yourself a drink would be a good idea. I recommend using milk because most people say that it goes down really well with this type of sandwich. But if you don't really like milk, or you don't prefer it that much over something else, you can use maybe water or possibly even soda if you like. That's for you wild people out there. Now, to show you the difference between soft bread and toasted bread when applying crunchy peanut butter, I'm going to take one piece of bread and put it into the toaster. That way I can show you that crunchy does have a tendency of that tearing process. And while we are waiting for that that piece of bread to toast, I'm going to give you some peanut butter fun facts. Now, did you know that it takes about 850 peanuts to make an 18-ounce jar of peanut butter? Now, that's a lot. And also, did you know that the average American eats about 3 pounds of peanut butter each year? And if you calculate that into every person in the United States, that's 500 million pounds of peanut butter every year, which could be used to spread along the whole floor of the Grand Canyon. And also, Americans eat enough peanut butter in a year to make over 10 billion peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And the world's largest peanut butter and jelly sandwich ever made was 40 feet long. It was made with 150 pounds of peanut butter and 50 pounds of jelly. And it was created November 6th of 1993 in, ironically, Peanut, Pennsylvania. Now, those are your peanut butter fun facts. And now my toasted bread is done. And we also need a piece of soft bread. So, when using crunchy peanut butter, I'm going to start off with the soft bread. And as you can probably tell, it does have the peanuts in it. And just like with applying creamy peanut butter, just get a little bit of it on your knife and spread it around evenly on there, and trying not to apply too much pressure. Otherwise, as I said, crunchy peanut butter can lead to tearing your bread. So, if you are not experienced with using crunchy peanut butter, you might want to try using toasted bread, which is firmer and does not have that tendency to tear. So, as you can see, it's going on a lot easier than with the soft bread that has not been toasted. So, when making your sandwich, which one would you prefer? This kind or this kind? So, you have your peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It is ready, and you've poured your your drink, which is milk preferably, which is what I would recommend. And here you have your classic peanut butter and jelly sandwich through 10 steps of making it. That's good. Thank you.